Welcome back to Level Headed Gamer, guys. My name is Joseph, and today we got an exciting video for Outriders. There's been a massive data mine leak where it revealed a bunch of armors and weapons. And today I want to talk about the weapons. Now, people have posted videos about this, but I made sure to compile every single possible weapon out there. So I got 25 different weapons for you to all look through and kind of see what we got here. The only thing I'm going to mention is, and this has been pointed out by somebody else on the forums, is that we probably should disregard some of the firepower properties because it's most likely has, they had to hack the system somehow to data mine. Ignite might be correct numbers for the firepower, some even the numbers overall, but we are going to look at the mods, we're going to look at the design, kind of get an overall feeling for each weapon and go through each one. I'm going to try to do a speed run through each one of these guys, and I'll make sure to timestamp down below so you could get to the weapon that you want to look. Now let's get right into the video. Starting with the weapon Lucky Jinx, it's a legendary double gun. Now there's two mods here. We got a level 3 mod which inflicts toxic on enemies, and a level 2 mod which is perpetual mobile. You instantly replenish your magazine if you kill an enemy with 30% or less ammo remaining in your magazine, cooldown of 0 seconds. Now I know this gun is going to be useful for all classes, but I think it's going to be particularly useful for the up close guys. A double gun, I believe, is a shotgun, so most likely it's going to be more useful for Devastator and Trickster, especially with ones that need consistent ammo to be replenishing as you're fighting. I would most likely switch out the toxic bullets for something a little bit more useful, but we'll have to see in the final game how it really jives with our builds. The second gun we got here is the High Roller. It's a legendary pump action shotgun, and it has two mods. A level 3 mod, Embalmer's Rage. For 8 seconds after killing shot, all the following shots will be critical shots. That's pretty freaking good, and what looks like 104% critical multiplier, that should be pretty sweet. As well as the second mod, a level 2 mod called Clip Roller. When your magazine has 50% or less ammo left, you can roll to quickly reload all your equipped weapons. Again, this is favored by an up-close class like the Devastator and Trickster, and for sure you always want to have ammo in your pocket, so that's going to be kind of your way to always reload in a safe way while dodging some damage. Now the third weapon we got here is the Guillotine. Again, another legendary pump action shotgun. It looks like I placed all the shotguns in a row here, but we got two mods here. We got a level 3 radiation splash. So reloading causes a small explosion that inflicts vulnerable and deal 200 something thousand damage to enemies within 5-meter radius. And then we got a level 2 mod, Minefield. Killing shots spawn explosives around targets. Each deal 378,000 damage in 5-meter radius. Jesus Christ, especially for a tank who can just stay in there and not have to move like a Devastator. This is going to be absolutely brutal. Not to mention, I have to say this is one of my favorite designs for the guns. This is fucking sweet with the skull in the front and the axe handle. Oh my god, I'm going to love this. I really love the organic design of weapons in this game. I'm really digging it. I know it's not for everybody, but it's right up my alley. The next one we got is another legendary pump action shotgun, well, automatic shotgun this time, called the Deathshield. We got two mods here. We got a level 3 Fortress, receive up to 43% damage bonus on your armor, and we got a level 2 mod, Striga, which I don't know if it's a callback to The Witcher, but perhaps not. Maybe it's just Polish folklore overall. And it's a 30% critical damage is returned to you as health. Again, favoring the up close and quarters kind of guys, Trickster and Devastator. This is probably the best for them with 139% crit multiplier here. Again, it's going to be really interesting with so many different options, so many different mods. How are we going to combine each weapon? I mean, it almost looks like you can make any weapon perform the way you want it, to an extent, obviously, right? We only can switch out one mod on each weapon. But let's move on to the next guy. Now, the next weapon we got here is called Lucky. It's a legendary revolver, and it has two mods. A level 3 pinball. Every critical shot ricochets to 4 enemies within 5-meter radius, dealing weapons double base damage. This automatically, for some reason, made me think of Revolver Ocelot from Metal Gear Solid. As soon as I even just saw the design of the gun, but when I saw the mod, automatically made me think of that. And the level 2 mod we got here is Improved Toxic Bullets. Shots inflict toxic on enemies with a cooldown of 4 seconds, which could be helpful, I guess, for any class, but especially Technomancer, since he's the one who does toxic and decay. The next weapon we got here is the Disintegrator. It's a legendary revolver. And we got 2 mods on this particular gun with a 200% crit multiplier. Again, I feel like we shouldn't be looking at the multiplier damage reload. It might be off because this was data mined. So for that reason alone, I'm going to kind of avoid it. The design is really fucking cool. Again, it looks very futuristic, very Equilibrium kind of Destiny look to it. And we got a level 3 mod, Strings of Goths. Shots link up to 5 enemies in a 5-meter radius of a target and deal 88 or slightly over 88,000 damage, electrical damage to each of them with a cooldown of 2 seconds. I wonder if you have to get this from Goths on a higher world tier. We'll have to see how this gun spawns if it's just completely random. And the level 1 mod, Soul Devourer, killing shots regenerate over 8,000 points of health, which again will be very useful for well, I mean, it's going to be useful for any class, really. It'll be a nice way to kind of switch to your sidearm to quickly get some health if you need to kind of recover if you're in the tight spot, so to say. The next weapon we got here is Molten Eidola, and it's a legendary rifle. I think this one we might have seen before, but I'm still going to quickly go through it, see what we got here. We got a level 3 mod, Ravenous Locust. Shots create a swarm of locusts dealing over 750,000 damage over 15 seconds and inflict weakness to enemies remaining within 6-meter radius of the target. Cooldown of 2 seconds. Now that's good. My problem was with the Rarog's gaze is that the cooldown was 8 seconds for something I thought that would be very useful in a more instantaneous kind of manner. It's nice that this has a pretty low cooldown and causes a shitload of damage. With a level 2 mod called Brain Eater, critical shots do not consume ammo. Especially if you have a crit build, it's going to be a great weapon to use overall. The next weapon we got here is the Inferno Seed, which is going to be a legendary assault rifle with this kind of wooden look to it. It's going to have 2 different mods. It's going to have the Wrath of Moloch, which critical hits cause an explosion dealing over 280,000 damage and inflict burn on enemies within a 5-meter radius, cooldown of 3 seconds. And the second mod, Brain Eater, which we've seen before, critical shots do not consume ammo. It looks like the mods, whatever status it inflicts, it doesn't stack. From what I've seen in a couple of videos, it doesn't stack with your skills. So this kind of can be applied to, again, any character if you want, especially when it cause multiple status effects at once to kind of double up on the damage. The next gun we got here, which looks really freaking cool in my opinion, is the Roaring Umbra. It's a legendary light machine gun, and it has 2 different mods. We got Kinetic Stomp, a level 3 mod, which shots create a seismic shock around you, dealing over 50,000 damage in a 5-meter radius with a cooldown of 3 seconds. Pretty freaking sweet, especially I think for a Devastator. With Bleeding Bullets, shots inflict bleed on enemies, cooldown of 8 seconds. I mean, the mods here just favor Devastator overall because he can cause bleed status effect along with the Kinetic Stomp, with creating a seismic shock here as well. The next weapon we got is the Blightbearer. It's a legendary rifle. I mean, if the damage is correct in some of these guns, this might be actually on the lower side for some of the other guns we'll see, but it does have a 250% crit multiplier. But again, we're not going to judge it based on that just yet. What we are going to look at the level 3 Burst of Decay mod. Critical shots cause explosions that inflict toxic on enemies within a 5-meter radius. And a level 2 mod, Resistance Breaker. Shots decrease your target's resistance by 35% for 6 seconds. Now, I don't know how useful that's going to be. It looks like if every shot decreases your target's resistance, it could be pretty useful against bosses. And of course, you would want some kind of an indicator that this is causing an enemy to be targeted, because you're not going to be able to judge every 6 seconds who you're hitting and who has a lower resistance. So I think we need to learn to kind of read all the status effects very quickly, especially how chaotic this game can be. The next gun we got, which I thought was really cool in design and actually in what it provides, is Fatal Symbiont, legendary submachine gun. Automatically makes me think, of course, of Venom, because kind of the symbiosis, so to say, that aspect of it. It's a level 3 mod. Check this out. Dark Sacrifice. During combat, your weapon drains up to 50% of your maximum health in exchange for 75% weapon damage. Now, I wonder if this doesn't affect your shields or armor, because then Tricksters and Devastators are really going to have fun with this. Or any build who can quickly recover health, this can potentially be really crazy damage. But I think It'll probably target just health. And I think from what I understand, it's just going to target health, and that's going to be really crazy for Trickster with high shield replenishing, as well as a Devastator with a high armor. And as a second mod, level 1 mod, Bleeding Bullets, again, which we've seen a bunch of times in this video already. The next one we got here is a Twisted Mercy Legendary Rifle. Looks very old school, very nice design, I like it. With a level 3 mod, Ultimate Vulnerability Bullets. Shots inflict vulnerable on enemies. With a level 2 mod of the Brain Eater, critical shots do not consume ammo. I'm assuming this rifle is going to also, in the real game, it shows 250%, but I'm sure it's going to be around that very high crit chance. With a crit build, this potentially could be, again, a pretty strong rifle. I don't know how it's going to compare to the other ones, obviously, because there's going to be a bunch of weapons in this game, but it looks good either way. The next weapon we got here is Enoch's Blessing. Now, I love like the light in the middle and the roots growing all over this gun. Looks really good. And I think, honestly, I know it's kind of superficial to a lot of very hardcore looter shooter fans, but to me, if a gun looks absolutely like shit, it's hard for me to use it. I like cool looking guns. For me, the visuals is a big part of the game. And we have a level 3 mod, Life and Death. Killing shots create a blast that restores 33% of health to all players. Well, that will be really fucking good. As well as Gravedigger's Frenzy. Critical shots increase your critical damage by 50% for 5 seconds. Again, this looks like a great option as one of the many great shotguns in this game. I don't even know how we're going to pick the right one and have a hard time. Yeah, I'm going to be switching between all these guns. I already know it. Next one we got is Anomaly Effigy. It's a legendary pump action shotgun. We've got a level 3 mod, Concentration Blast. Killing shots cause enemies to explode, dealing over 220,000 damage, multiplied by a maximum number of 0 enemies within a 5-meter radius around the original target. So it depends, obviously, by how many enemies are around, and then it multiplies. Okay. Sounds good to me. I mean, every single gun, really, the level 3 mods they come with, for the most part, are really, really good, really strong. I'm sure there's been, I think Rarog's Gaze is probably the only one whose mods are not amazing, but the gun itself is really good. And then we got Grimm's Marrow, where the mods just don't work correctly as of now. We also got Weakening Bullets. Shots inflict weakness on enemies and a cooldown of 8 seconds. I don't know how useful that's going to be. Most likely, I think everybody will switch that one out. Next gun we got here is Heir To The Desert, or Heir To The Desert, Legendary Assault Rifle. Now, this is really cool. We have seen gameplay that there's going to be gameplay in the desert. So I'm going to assume we're going to find this gun there. And as a level 3 Sandstorm mod, shots conjure up a storm, dealing over 630,000 damage over 5 seconds with a cooldown of 5 seconds. That's pretty ridiculous. And then is the Bleeding Bullets. Shots inflict bleed on enemies, cooldown of 8 seconds. Yeah, that we can switch out. This could be pretty useful for a lot of the classes here. Next gun we got is the Time Ripper. It's a legendary assault rifle, and it has the first mod, level 3 mod, Ultimate Stiffening. Shots inflict slow on enemies. So I asked this question in my previous video, so it looks like this basically confirms it. There are higher tier mods of the same mod, because we know there's a stiffening mod that we get on Grim Marrow, so obviously there's a higher tier version of it, so you potentially can put just on all your guns level 3 tier mods all over, and it's going to be insane. The next one we got here is Master Tool, a legendary assault rifle. Now this one has a level 3 Dome of Protection. Killing shots summon a bullet-stopping dome for 5 seconds, cooldown of 5 seconds. Great. I think this is going to be useful for anybody, really. Maybe not so much for a Devastator, but definitely for somebody like Technomancer or Pyromancer, because they are a little bit more squishy. We got a level 2 mod, Perpetual Mobile, which we've seen again before. You instantly replenish your ammo magazine when you kill an enemy with a 30% less ammo remaining in the magazine, cooldown of 0. We got this mod. We know about this one, right? Moving on to the next one. The Reaper, a legendary light machine gun. I really like the design of this gun. And it has a level 3 mod, Ultimate Weakening Bullets, which again, we've seen a level 1 mod in this video so far. So there's just kind of a build on top of that. And then we got Death Chains. Shots entangle an enemy with chains, dealing 37,000 damage over 3 seconds with a cooldown of 2 seconds. If it interrupts them or stops in one place, I can see this being really, really useful. If it's just like regular damage, it's probably not the greatest mod I've seen so far. So the next gun we got here is Absolute Zero. Absolute Zero we have seen many times, but it looks like it's one of the guns that was leaked. Let's go through it really quickly. You can always skip ahead if you don't want to watch this one. We got a level 3 mod, Ultimate Freezing Bullets. Shots inflict freeze on enemies. We also got Improved Vulnerability Bullets, a level 2 mod. Shots inflict vulnerable on enemies, cooldown to 4 seconds. I definitely see myself switching out the second mod because it's just maybe not as useful as some of the other ones that we've seen even within this video, including the ones we haven't seen. We got Damascus Offering, a legendary light machine gun, and it has a level 3 Claymore Torrent, which shots damage 4 enemies within a 3-meter radius with anomaly blades dealing over 113,000 damage. And it has a level 2 mod, Anomaly Attachment, or Enhancement, sorry. Receive a passive firepower boost equal to 30% of your anomaly power. The next one we got here is the Headhunter. I mean, this gun looks pretty cool. It's pretty basic, but the designs overall, there's almost no gun in here that I could pick out and be like, I don't like the design. For the most part, I really like the designs of these guns. It's a legendary bolt action rifle. It's going to have a level 3 burst of decay. Critical shots cause explosions that inflict toxic on enemies within a 5-meter radius. We've seen this one before. And a vampire. Killing shots gain 15% skill leech boost for 20 seconds. Sorry about that. Moving on to the next one. We got the Bulwark. Now, we've seen the developers talk about this gun quite a lot, but we've never seen it up close. So here we go. We got a level 3 mod, which is Ultimate Anomaly Surge. Critical shots spawn Anomaly Energy Blast that deal 46,000 damage or slightly over in 2-meter radius. And we got a clip of Malthea, a level 1 mod. There's a 27% chance that critical shots do not consume ammo. There's a couple of different variations we've seen that where it doesn't consume ammo, but I haven't seen a mod that replenishes. Well, there's been ones where you reload quicker, or you don't waste a mag, but we'll see if there's any kind of that will give you more ammo, or consistently if you're getting. Well, we've seen critical shots, so yeah, we have seen mods that replenish your ammo, because I'm already thinking about it for my Trickster. We got Icarus, a legendary automatic sniper rifle, which has a level 3 mod, Ultimate Anomaly Surge. Critical shots spawn an Anomaly Energy Blast that deals 113,000 damage in 2-meter radius. With a level 2 mod, Brain Eater, critical shots do not consume ammo. Pretty basic, we understand what this gun is. Looks cool, nice design. Moving on to the next one, we got the Wicker. This one kind of looks okay. I mean, I'm not digging the basket kind of design of it, but maybe it's good. Let's see what we got here. We got a level 3 Ultimate Ashen Bullets. Shots inflict ash on enemies, which could be potentially very good for our Pyromancer. With a level 1 mod, Ricochet. Shots inflict ricochet to another enemy within 5-meter radius of the initial target. So, I mean, it could potentially be good. I think the second mod is very easy to say that we should switch it out. It's not as useful, but the first mod is really good, especially for our Pyromancer. Now we got here is Darkness Chamber. It's a legendary pump action shotgun. It's gonna provide a level 3 grand opening mod. Landing a hit with the first bullet in a magazine creates a powerful explosion, dealing over 170,000 damage in a 5-meter radius. With a level 2 mod, again, Perpetuum Mobile. We've seen this mod all over the place. You instantly replenish your magazine. Again, reinforcing that they want you to replenish ammo, or give you a chance to replenish your ammo as you're doing, if you're killing enemies with a low mag, which, I mean, if you're doing it correctly, you should be consistently doing that. And because shotguns don't have very big mag sizes, that's going to be useful. The last gun I have for today is Mindmugger. It's a legendary automatic sniper rifle. Now, we haven't even talked about that there's a weapon variance for all these guns, but that's another whole case. This one has a level 3 Anomaly Mutilation mod. Shots on enemies afflicted by a status. I'm trying to read this. It's very kind of hard to read. Releases a different... So it's like, I'm sorry, I'm not able to take as much information from this one as I can, because this one was really hard to find. And we got the damage link, which links up a bunch of enemies together for 30% weapon damage, 10% of the anomaly charge with a cooldown 4 seconds. These guns look phenomenal, and I am really excited. Actually, my next video is going to be armors. We're going to look over all the armors that's been leaked throughout this data mine, and honestly, it's not as much of a leak as it's just exciting to see what kinds of things we'll be able to do, and I am so hyped for this game. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it was useful, that we went through every single weapon together. I'm gonna have to see how I build. There's obviously people out here really ahead of me in terms of like trying to create their theory builds. I'm more of like on the spot. I want to create my build on the spot and see how it's going to actually work in practice. But guys, I hope you enjoyed this video and enjoy the rest of your day. Make sure to subscribe down below if you enjoyed this kind of content, and be on the lookout for my next video where we discuss a bunch of armor sets. Peace out.